Done.
And we'll get started. The first thing you have to ask when you're doing a presentation like this really is, why do we want to use the Eve agent? What is the purpose of using the Eve agent? We've had customers, the entire support team have customers that we deal with virtually every week. And we talk to them and are you using the Eve agent? And they say no. You say why not? And they give you a variety of reasons. Or they're running a single agent job for a happy birthday email that goes out to their customers, but they're not using the Eve agent. And we ask them why not, and they really don't have a good explanation. They've got a variety of different reasons, but there is a good reason from our perspective as to why you should use the Eve agent. It's a statistic that was built from some PADI data and information that we had. Over the past 5 years, dive centers who are using Eve average 18% ahead of all the certification trends for shops that don't use Eve. And that is due in very, very large part to the fact that they're using the Eve agent as a tool to allow them to engage with, maintain, and market to their customers. Now, when we sent out the invitation for this webinar, we asked our customers to give us an idea of how many certs you've done in the last year. And many of them got back to us and gave us an idea of how many Discover Scubas and how many other certs they'd processed. Had a whole variety. I can tell you that between the webinar that we ran for EMEA and PADI North America, and now the customers that have replied from PADI Asia Pac, the customers that have taken part in these two webinars account for over 10,000 PADI certifications in the last year. So you think about your dive center and what portion of that applies to you, and then ask yourself what your numbers would look like for the coming year if your certs went up by 18%. So that's why we want to talk about the agent, because it'll help build your business, and we want you to take part in this presentation and hopefully come away from it with some ideas, some concepts, and some tools to help you grow your business now and in the future. Topics for today's webinar: we're going to start with a quick review of Eve 5.10 and making sure that you're actually running on Eve 5.10, how you can determine that you're running the current release of Eve 5.10. Then we're going to talk about the agent jobs. Ian's going to take over and he's going to talk about the agent jobs themselves. We've got a number of new factory supplied jobs that can be downloaded directly into your Eve agent. He's going to talk about the new jobs themselves, the different types of jobs that we've created. And he's also going to talk about some of the new functionality within the jobs. The jobs in and of themselves are one of the major reasons why customers shied away from the agent. They were afraid that they'd have to become computer programmers, and it's getting much easier to work with them. He's going to talk about that in detail. I'm going to take over and I'm going to talk about the MailChimp side of the equation tonight, and we're going to talk about the new MailChimp template interface and the templates that we've prepared and that we supply now for the agent jobs to run with MailChimp. Then I'm going to walk you through a very simple tutorial on how to customize the templates and use them for your purposes, customized to your shop. So we've got a lot on the agenda, but we're going to keep it inside an hour, and we really hope you get something out of it. So what we want to do first is we want to just have a very quick look at how you make sure that you have Eve 5.10 installed on your computer. And you probably already know this. We had it in the emails that came out to you. But if you're on your Eve desktop, all we want you to do is go to Help, click on About, as we say in Canada, and make sure that you're running version Eve 5.10 build 170. Now, Eve 5.10 will only run if you're using computers that are running Windows 7, 8, or 10. If you're running Windows Vista or XP, it will not run on those machines. So warn you about that up front. But the newest version is downloadable from our brand new website, and we'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the presentation tonight. So if you're not sure, that's how you check. And once you've got Eve 5.10, you're going to be able to have all the features that we're going to be talking to you about this evening. So with that, I am going to go back to my GoToMeeting screen tool in, and I'm going to make you the presenter. If I can find you in this wonderful long list of people that are taking part. Ian, it's all yours.
Thank you, Les. So everyone should be able to see my screen now, and you're looking at an Eve 5.10 database, and where we want to be going to is the Eve agent. And I would hope everyone knows that you get there by going to the Tools menu at the top of the screen and then selecting Eve Agent, and you'll be asked to log in just as you would into Eve in the usual way into your agent. And what you're seeing here at this point is an old agent. Imagine this was a 5.9 or previous versions agent, and you'll see it looks a little bit messy. It's hard to tell what each job might be doing. Some are going out via Outlook, some are going out via MailChimp, etc. So we thought we'd help everyone, because I think this may be one of the reasons why not all Eve users are using the agent as well as they might be able to, but for that reason we decided we'd make it so much easier to, if you like, start again almost with a simplified, clarified, easier to use, easier to understand agent. So we've built in these, as Les referred to, factory supplied jobs. There's a big button in your 5.10 agent that says add factory supplied jobs down here at the bottom of the agent. And if I click that for a moment, you will then see on your screen something that tells you about these factory supplied jobs. Use this if you want to add the jobs for emails, text messages, etc. Now, you can add all the new jobs in addition to your current jobs if you wish, if you're finding success with the parts of the agent that you're currently using. What I'm going to do here, though, is to just show you one of the other possibilities, which is that I could say I want to use only the new jobs that relate to Discover Scuba and Open Water and inquiries and follow-ups, as you'll see in a moment. And I want to stop using my existing jobs, which I may not be 100% about, or maybe I'm not even using some of those. So I'm going to check this box that says make all my existing email and text messaging jobs unavailable, and then I'm going to move to this next tab of select jobs, and you will see here this long list of all the new jobs that are available in the 5.10 Eve agent. I appreciate I'm scrolling quickly down there, but you will see once I've imported them how these will work for you, and we'll guide you through that. So I'm going to select all of these jobs. It is perfectly possible, and I'm just going to hit deselect all to get back to where I was a minute ago, for you, if you would care to import particular jobs. As you can see, I'm selecting some particular ones. But in this example, I'm going to select all of these jobs because I do want to have the new jobs relating to DSD inquiries, completions, open water inquiries, ongoing open water bookings, open water certification follow-ups for Con Ed, etc. So having hit select all, and at this point you may have noticed, by the way, that there's Spanish and Italian versions of these as well, but for now I'm just going to concentrate on the English aspect. Having hit that select all, I now hit finish. And in technical IT terms, Eve whirs away for a few seconds, and then you will now see that I'm back to the standard look of the agent, and here are all those new jobs. There are over 100 new jobs available now to use. Now, if we look at one of these, it will serve as an example for all. And I'm going to open up one of these jobs just to indicate to you some of the new features within the agent that will make your use of this new agent even more powerful than you may have already found the current agents. And I'm just going to highlight here this job that relates to someone having made an inquiry 3 days ago about the open water program. So having highlighted, if I double click it, that job will now open, and you will see tabs at the top that are rather similar to those that you've already got, but a couple of differences we'll see. But also you'll see we've built in a campaign name for you and given you a description, so it should be pretty easy to understand what this job will be doing and what this will be targeting for you. So in this case, as you can see, this means that this will go out and react and send messages when someone inquired about the open water course 3 days ago, they're still interested and haven't enrolled on an open water course already. Just to go through these here, we've set, for example, this job to go out every day, because it could be any day that it is 3 days ago that someone inquired, and to go out at 1 p.m. If you wish to change that, as you may well know, and there are other EVE training videos to guide you through how to do these technical aspects, you can change that time there. This is also, as you can see, based on inquiry. Here's merge fields we're using. Again, refer to those other videos for more details on how to change these aspects, add to these aspects that you might wish. The really key aspect of the changes here for 5.10 agent appear on this filters tab. And on the filters tab, you will see what initially looks 3 very confusing bits of information. But they're not really. They're really rather simple. The first is this pick key element is equal to 75. Now, clearly that seems at first to be a little bit of gibberish. What it's really saying is the pick key is a PADI term that means that that's an open water course in this case. 75 is the pick key on PADI's databases for certification given to the open water program. So it doesn't matter what you happen to call the open water course in your EVE database. You might call it open water. You might call it open water and have no space in it. You might call it PADI open water. Doesn't matter, as long as that pick key that you have assigned to that course, so that certifications on that course result in an open water card arriving for the customer, this will pick that up. These 2 little AND elements here. First of all, we're saying the interest status is still equal to still interested. There are, as you can see, various inquiry statuses that you have within your EVE database. So now we know that this is someone who made an inquiry about what will become the open water program, and they are still interested. And most importantly is that this is enrolled on OW, very computery speak at first, is equal to no. There being little point in insulting a customer by sending them information about, oh great, come along and do the PADI open water program because you asked about it 3 days ago, if they booked 2 days ago after the initial inquiry. So built into this is the capacity to make sure that all the emails that are going out are absolutely relevant to that customer. There's no possibility of you accidentally, inadvertently sending out information to customers that the programs they've already signed up for. So those are 3 elements that you don't need to do anything with, but I think it's just important that you note that that is the case. That's what those three filters, if you like, are doing. They're digging into, they're mining your database to look for people who've asked about open water, whose interest status is they're still interested, and they are not already enrolled on an open water program. Now, there are other elements that for other jobs you may want to have a consideration for as well. You'll see, for example, that we put the defaults on mailing lists, that these won't go to unsubscribers or bounced emails. We would clearly hope that within the 3 days of someone first asking you about open water that they haven't already asked to be on your unsubscribers mailing list, but you never can tell, so it is built into there that they won't go to those. Some other features that you may wish to just keep an eye on as you get going is, again, just to give you an orientation, we have marked here what are the possible merge tags, merge fields, etc. available in MailChimp templates. As you'll see, we've built those into the templates that are now available solely for Paddy stores that use Eve, and we'll be guiding you through that in a little while. But just for your information, that is what is available for you on this job. So you can say, hi Richard, etc., etc. And as you use this job, you will find there will come into this area of history an indication of how many times that is being run, which is every day, of how many jobs are going out, of how many people are being contacted in response to your inquiries. So each job is set up in exactly this same way. Taking another one just to emphasize the case, let's imagine that we now want to look at someone who had booked on an open water course today. So I'm going to return to the agent, bring that up again, simple description that you can understand. Pick, in this case, a schedule that will go out at the end of your day, because this job is designed to go today, 0 days after someone's booked. Filters are placed in there that they are now booked onto an open water program. I won't bore you with pick key again, and so on. So all of those, every one of these jobs has been done for you. You are not having to do what you may have felt you had to do in the past, which was to go in and do this horrible stuff of where you have to suddenly decide that in addition to your skills as a diver, as a business owner, as an instructor, as a service technician, as shop staff, as a trip leader, as a van driver, as a compressor maintenance guy, in addition to all of those skills, you now somehow had to become an IT engineer. So we've taken that nonsense away. We've also, I've closed that one, tried to make this a fair bit easier for you to find and discover exactly what each of these jobs is doing. You'll see these categories of, there are these 6 jobs you see here related to DSD inquiries. So, for example, let's stretch this out a little. This would be someone who's inquired about doing a Paddy DSD today, 3 days ago, 7 days ago, 14, 28, 60. So there are 6 jobs to follow up. Now, you may be thinking on some of these, oh, I'm not sure about sending 6 emails to someone. Well, you don't have to. You don't have to use all of those. You don't have to, obviously, use any of them. It's a relatively free world. We'd suggest you do, because there is so much evidence in this world that 4, 5, 6, 7, you'll get a slightly different answer depending on who you speak to. Contacts are necessary very often to push someone to what they've asked for. And remember, that's the key. This is what someone has asked for. You are not chucking emails at people for no apparent reason. You are not bulk emailing, you're not spamming. This is exactly targeted. someone asked to go onto a program, asked information, so you're telling them, we're still here, let's get you going, let's start your diving. And that's the same way with once someone, as you can see, has completed their DSD, giving them the next steps for their moving on to open water. Someone's asked about open water. Someone is on the open water program. Now, all of these are great, you might say to yourself. Magnificent, I've got all these jobs that can go. All I have to do is to put an inquiry into Eve. All I have to do is to book them onto a course. You probably all know how to do that, but also bear in mind that is in the user guide. There are videos on doing all of those. Those videos available on our new website, etc. But you might be saying, okay, that's great, but not only did I never really want to get into IT, but also I didn't really want to get into all kinds of writing, of templates, and become a wordsmith. Some of you may feel that you're Shakespeare. Some of you may feel more honestly that you're not. So another aspect that we have built into this latest 5.10 agent and Eve 5.10 is to take away those questions, that concern, that time it might take to write those emails, to come up with images for those emails, etc. And what we've done is we have created more than 100 templates, as we call them. It's a bit of a lame name, but campaigns, newsletters, emails, call them what you will, that are ready for you to go out of the box, so to speak. And you can access those only by being A, a PADI member, and B, an Eve using store. But you can access those very, very easily. You will see on the left-hand side here that there is a little chimpanzee image. That image indicates that each of these jobs is designed to run in Eve from your Eve database, from the information you put in Eve, but the actual final delivery will be from MailChimp. I hope, we all hope, that most of you already have a MailChimp account. It is a delivery system for newsletters and emails. If you don't, please go to MailChimp.com and set one up. Because once you've got a MailChimp account, what you can now do is the following. You could go within your Eve agent, and you'll see here just in the background that I am, say you'll see here, logged in to a MailChimp account. So I'm logged in to my MailChimp account. And what I'm going to do now, having made sure I'm logged into that account, is within the agent, from the top menu in the agent, go to the file link, and on file go to import MailChimp templates. So that's file, import MailChimp templates, and if I click that, first of all it tells you what's going to happen. Please note, and we make no pejorative remark, but please note that if you're using Chrome or you're using Firefox or whatever, all's tickety-boo, sometimes we would certainly suggest using Chrome and Firefox. I'll put it no more than that, but read what it says there. Not the smoothest interface when using Internet Explorer or Microsoft Edge. Also, please bear in mind that if you're going to import the over 100 templates, I wouldn't at the same time be trying to run 1,001 other applications at the same time. So we're going to keep it to using an appropriate browser. When I hit OK on here, we will find that, given a little bit of blurb about, these are related to you, they are for the use by you, but they are because you're a Paddy store and because you're an Eve user. So we agree to those terms and conditions. Now, once we've done that, we will then see, this is, sorry for the technical term of whirring away. This always happens on live things, doesn't it? Once I've hit agree, something else is now doing that whirring in the background, and I have non-responsive. There we are. Now, when we come here, you'll now see all of the names of the templates, as we call them, that can be added to your agent. Each of these, we've tried to keep this naming convention pretty damn simple, so you'll understand which ones go with which job and when they're into your agent. You'll see here there's congratulations on rescue diver, becoming a diver, which relates to open water, becoming an advanced open water diver, and so on. There are a lot called inquiry about, so it's very easy to marry up. Some of the reasons for the limits on these length of names is because there are limits on the lengths of names that you can place within a template name within MailChimp. So, for example, that one we were looking at a few minutes ago, inquiry about open water course 3 days ago, still interested and not enrolled, rather than being able to put all that into it, that turns into inquiry 3 days about our open water course. Pretty easy to understand that OW means open water, for example. Now, you could certainly import them all by hitting select all. Just for this example, I'm going to just select this one. Remember, I'm logged into my MailChimp account and I've selected the template I want to import with that little checkbox. I hit OK, and guess what? Straight into my MailChimp account comes, there we are, the template that I wanted to import. And here we have, I'm just going to bring it up on screen. There we are. Oh, wrong one, I believe. Sorry about that. I clicked on the wrong button. Silly old me. I imported a couple. Here we are. That's come straight into it. Yeah. Now, all of these are able to be imported directly into your MailChimp account. I'll go back to the agent and show you that. And because of that, from that simple process, and this is so important for you to get, file, import MailChimp templates, agree to conditions, see it really is that quick, and whichever one that you would care to bring in, you're doing a lot of others, or all of them. Aware fish identification is another example I might wish to bring in. Bring that one in, and we have a template which is available, and Les is going to show you in just a moment how to turn into a campaign. Just a brief orientation on that. As you will see here, we have, as I mentioned, those merge fields are there for you, images, logos with a project aware, Paddy logos, contact details. Les is going to guide you through the editing of some of these, but they've been designed to be 3, 4, 5 click at most edits, and you have the capacity to utterly revolutionize through the use of your agent and the use of these templates the ease, simplicity and accuracy of your marketing to your divers. As Les says, you're bound to have questions when you look at this. Don't hesitate in coming forward. Rewatch what you've seen so far, but also what Les is about to show you on those editing. There are other videos appropriate to this, but for now, really did want to show you that all I've done, other than my explanations, was say, yes, import those jobs, i.e. add factory supplied jobs, and yes, import templates. So had I not bored you all with the length of that description of what was going on, that process would have taken no more than 2 or 3 minutes. And at that point, I'm now going to hand back to Les, who's going to guide you through some of the ways you can edit those templates into exactly the campaigns you want.
Thanks, Ian. Just a couple of closing points on Ian's presentation to kind of segue into the next section is two things that really need to be remembered. Is first of all, if you're sitting there and you're thinking, well, you know what, I've already got a lot of jobs that I already use, and I really like the way they're constructed, the wording's all customized to myself, or maybe you've got some jobs that still run against Outlook, and you want to keep those, you can. You don't have to scrap them all. Ian replaced all of his jobs, but if you recall, he gave you the option of retaining those jobs. You can retain any or all of them, and they weren't deleted. The jobs that he replaced were just simply made as unavailable. And so if you did have a job that you wanted to keep, maybe it's down in the unavailable category, you can make it available again and still have it to use. The other thing that's really important, that's really exciting for the team, is that the agent jobs that you see here and the agent templates, the templates we've created for MailChimp, are a work in progress. There's over 100 of them now. We have some areas that we still have to fill in on. The specialties aren't quite where we want them to be, and a couple of areas in social media and services and so on. We expect there to be something in the neighborhood of 150 jobs by the time we're all done, and a template for each and every one. And you will not have to wait for the next release of the software to be able to obtain those jobs and those templates. With the communication tools that we're going to be talking about at the end of this presentation, as new templates and as new jobs become available, you'll be advised of them, and you can just simply go in at any time, download the latest jobs, download the latest templates, and just keep right on going, which is really exciting. You don't have to wait for a new release of the software to get a new bunch of agent jobs or templates. So really exciting. Well, let's pick up on what Ian was just talking about now, which was his example was your inquiry 3 days ago about the open water course, and he chose that agent job to work on and downloaded the template. And I'm looking at my version of MailChimp at the moment, and I've got that template sitting there as downloaded from the Eve agent, and now I need to be able to make it mine. There are two reasons that we hear about more than any other for customers who don't use the agent. The first is the fear of having to be a computer programmer, and Ian's already addressed that. We've got some new tools to filter it to make it easier to work with. But the second reason is because people don't have the time, or they feel they have the skill to be able to construct essentially an attractive, articulate email to send to their customers. And so while we're not trying to present ourselves as being either particularly artistic or overly articulate, we do feel that if we can give you something to work with and get you 90% of the way there, you'll be much more likely to use the tool. So as Ian's indicated, we've created a series of templates for you, one for each job, and what we've done is we've taken the approach that we need to use the lowest common denominator, because no two shops are alike. Some shops have an online store, some don't. Some have a Twitter feed, some don't. Some have a Facebook page, some don't. And we needed to create these templates so that every single customer of ours could use them out of the box with a minimum of effort. So you see a template here. It's got some basic instruction. If you're not familiar with MailChimp, I'm going to explain a couple of things to you, but there are some great help videos and texts available from MailChimp on how to use it. But let's just look at the key elements of the templates as we're delivering them to you. There's a social banner page or section at the top right here, and this is where your social media will get linked in. There's an image that talks about the course or the particular campaign that you want to send. What we've tried to do is we've got a lot of great new imagery and colors from Patty. They've been really helpful in helping to create the foundation of these templates. And we've tried to use all of their imagery and their colors and so on, so that each course, for instance, has a similar color scheme. As the courses change, the colors change and so on, so that there's a bit of attractiveness there. but also what we tried to do is we've substituted in as much as possible different pictures for each email. So if someone is getting an email the day that they inquire, and 3 days after, and 7 days after, and 14 days after, the image will keep changing. If the image is the same, they're less likely to open the email. So we've tried to create a variety of images for you. A simple title, want to go diving now, and then the main body of the email. And I see right here, Ian, that we've got something that we've got to fix up, so we're going to fix that as we go along. Here's the main body of the text of the email. You have all the standard word processing fields that you would expect to see in Outlook or Word that give you a chance to go in and modify the text, put in whatever you want, or just simply use the text that we've provided to you. It's PADI friendly and it doesn't make any commitments to you, but if you have something special, maybe your open water course has a special feature, you do it in a special location, or you have special incentives that you offer to your new open water students, feel free to go in and build those in. On the right hand side we have some buttons that can be used to cause your customers to be able to do certain things, and we're going to explain those to you in detail. And Ian, I have absolutely no idea how these two boxes appeared here, but for those of you who aren't familiar with MailChimp, I'm going to give you a first editing lesson now. For some reason these two boxes appeared twice. I'm just going to hit the garbage can and I'm going to click delete, and I've cleaned that presentation up pretty quickly. So let's look at the elements of the presentation and what you need to change to customize it to your shop. To do this, we have created all of these templates, and they all use references to EveWebNet. And EveWebNet is one of our sample demo websites that are used as templates to create websites for our customers. And we've linked all of the templates back to this. Feel free to look at those links and have a look at our websites if you're looking for a website or you need a website, maybe you don't have one. You can contact us at isis.co.uk or off the Eve Diving website, and we'll be more than glad to talk to you about websites. But instead of using our default website for this presentation this evening, we're going to change persona a little bit. And for the purposes of this presentation, I'm going to assume the role of Mr. Curtis Wilson, who happens to be the owner of Scuba World Sacto in Sacramento, California. And this is his brand new ISIS website. It's been up for about a month and a half now. Did a lot of work on it himself and customized it. It has his online shop, and his blog is down here, and his Twitter feed and so on. Links into PADI. Really nice website. We're really proud of the work that Curtis has done on it, but I'm going to use his website as a sample. And so for the purposes of the next little bit of this presentation, I'm going to assume that I'm customizing this template for Curtis Wilson. You have a total of 5 changes to make. 5 very simple changes to make this a customized website for you. First of all, you need to go to the social media bar. Hit on the pencil, that's the edit key, and it brings up the edit page for you. If someone was to click on here, it would take them to your website. We don't want it to go to the EveWebNet website. We want it to go to our website, or in your case, your website. So you'd simply go back to your home page. When your home page is up, you would capture the URL, copy it, come over here into the edit field and paste it. And I'm going to change it from our default ABCD diving to Scuba World Sacto. All right, and I'm going to save it. That change alone, and I'm going to go into preview mode here just to show you how that works, allows you to preview the template with any changes you've made, and you get to test all of the links. So a customer going to this particular template or seeing a campaign made from this, if they clicked on this button, would get taken immediately to the Scuba World Sacramento website, which is exactly what you'd want it to do. And you can come out and test this. While I'm here, one of the questions that we had on the other webinar was, well, but how does this look on a cell phone? All of these templates are mobile friendly. So they come down and they appear on a mobile phone or a tablet device. They're all set up so that you've still got access to all of the buttons and all of the details are there for you. Completely set up either for website viewing or email viewing, if you have it set up as an email for email previews, depending on which inbox your mail system you're using, or as a standard browser view. Let's go on and make the other changes. That was change number one. Change number one was to put in the website. Change number two, I'm going to go down here. And certainly we don't want to see the ABCD Diving logo. We'd like to see, in this case, the Scuba World Sacramento logo or yours. And all you do is, having uploaded your logo to MailChimp, you only have to do that once. You come up into the images, find your logo, select it, and it gets dropped right into the campaign, into the template rather. And what we want to do is we want to change the link on that, so if someone clicks on your website, they don't get taken to the Eve WebNet website. And because I'd already saved it, I'll put in the Scuba World Sacto email address. You can tell it's midnight, can't you, Ian? In beautiful British Columbia, Canada. My words are getting all mixed up here. Change the link, and that takes you back to the Scuba World Sacto website link. So if someone clicks on there, that's where they're going to go. That's two changes. Change number three. Ian and I went back and forth on this a number of times, trying to figure out what the best course of action was to make here. On some of these templates, you'll see that they say, sign me up. On some of the templates, they'll say questions. Depending on the nature of the email that's going out, if it's about a trip or if it's a course someone's just registered for, it might say questions. In this case, we're trying to encourage them to sign up for an open water course, so it says sign me up. But because we had to assume that a lot of our customers don't necessarily have online stores today, we had to find something that every one of our stores does have, and that's email. So we put in, the first button will always be an emailed question where you can change it to your personal email address. In this case, I'm going to use Curtis's email address, and I'm going to copy it and just drop that in, and that'll be the email address that the email's coming from and will be replied to. And we've put in sample text for you. I want to get going on my open water course. Change it to whatever you want, but we've given you something. Let us know what courses or time frames you are interested in. We'll get you registered. We've put in some basic text. Again, if you have something special you want to tell them, this is where you do it. Now, save that and close it, and any emails going will be directed to your store email address. The second tab we have is View Courses. They might want more information on the open water course. In fact, if you were to read the text, it would say click on the View Courses button to get more information about the open water course. So what we'll do is we'll go out to your website. Everybody's website has some reference to getting certified. Find the Open Water Diver course, and this is the Open Water Diver course page from Curtis's website. I'm going to pick up that URL simply using cut and paste, something that we're all pretty good with, I'm sure. And save that. So now if the customer gets the email and clicks on View Courses, they're going to get taken to the Open Water Course information page. Three things that divers want to do. They want to buy gear, take courses, and dive. And so we decided that we would leave in here, instead of things like trip advisory and so on, which a lot of customers don't have at this point, but may have in the future, we decided to put in a button called View Trips. Because every website that we found from every dive center that we've been in touch with, and universally, whether it's on their home page, whether they have a special tab for it, whether there's some reference in their open water course to it, there's some reference to travel, whether it's diving in a local quarry or on the barrier reef or taking a trip somewhere, there's some reference to trips. And so we've decided to put trips in here to encourage your divers, once they get certified, to go and do some diving with you. So grab the URL for, in this case, I've taken the Philippines trip and copied it over. Save and close. I'm going to go back to preview. So here's our template, all modified. Just a couple of minutes of time while I was talking. You can see it's very, very simple, very repetitive, easy to do. You do it once per template and then it's done. We've already tested the banner page. Sign me up. We'll create the email that you want to create. They can add their text to it, and it goes off to you, in this case to Curtis, and from there you can get the information that they have or the questions they have about the open water course. View courses, they'll click on that. Yep, it's going right where I want it to go, the open water course from my website. And finally, view trips, it's taking me to trips. So we know the buttons are all working properly, and what happens if they click on Scuba World Sacto's logo? Yes, it's going to the home page. So all of the links, the 5 simple links that we've got in there are the same on every template. They're consistent, but that doesn't mean that you have to use them. Do you have a Twitter feed? Do you have a LinkedIn page? Do you have a Facebook page or a YouTube account? Go ahead and add it. The icons will get added across the top of the social media banner. Entirely up to you. But since we don't know what customers have, we defaulted to the assumption that you at least had a website. You don't want to use Sign Me Up or View Courses or View Trips? I've already shown you how to delete a box. Delete it. Put in your own box. You have the opportunity to add buttons, add individual text and images anywhere in this presentation that you want. But this is your basic template ready to go out of the box with a minimal amount of modification. All you do now is save and exit, and your template is added, edited, ready to go. You have one thing left to do. Within Eve, the agent is looking for a campaign. A template is just what it sounds like, a template. It's an overview, a model, a sample. From the template, you create the actual email, the campaign in MailChimp speak, the actual campaign that's going to go to the customer. The template doesn't go, the campaign does. So we're going to create a campaign now for this particular inquiry. Come over to campaigns. I'm going to create a campaign, just a regular old campaign. Most dive shops have one list of customers, and that's what you would probably have. I'm going to choose the Integrated Scuba Systems list here, but you select the list of customers where your primary list of customers would reside, and that's where your database grows. As you add new customers, this database list will grow within MailChimp and be available to be used. Does not mean that this campaign is going to go to all of these customers. It's just available to go to these customers. Then we go to the setup page, and this is an important page. As things were in Click, there we go. We have to give the campaign a name. Now I'm going to go back to the agent here just for a second. The agent job that Ian was working on was for inquiries 3 days ago about the open water course. So I'll just open that up and have a look at it. You'll see that that's the campaign name within the agent. For the agent and MailChimp to work together, the campaign name must be exactly the same in both places. So I'm simply going to take that campaign name, I'm going to copy it, come back over to MailChimp and paste it. So that when the agent job is triggered, it will say I have an email to go out using the Your Inquiry 3 days ago about our open water course campaign, and MailChimp will know which one to use. You then have a subject line. This is the subject that will appear on the email. Not a bad subject either, but you can put anything you want in there. You've got a lot more characters to work with. In this case, it's coming from Integrated Scuba Systems, and our email address, you would put it from your own, or if I was still acting as Curtis Wilson, it would be from Scuba World Sacto and his email address. Okay? All you need to do, a couple of simple fields to create a campaign. This is the screen that caused panic amongst our customers, because this is the screen where you would have had to go in and create a campaign. 1 column, 2 column, it was overwhelming. But now all you have to do is look at your inventory of templates and select the template that you want to use. Inquiry, 3 days ago. You know it's edited, it's formatted, it's customized to your particular needs. Your campaign is now complete. No further changes necessary. They were all made at the template stage. All I need to do now, make sure that all of my tick boxes are ticked. You may have to add monkey rewards if you don't have enough customers on your list, but that's added by MailChimp. Save and exit. Go back to campaigns. Your campaign is created. Your template is created with a couple of simple keystrokes. So let's just review really quickly that whole cycle that takes place within your system now that you've put this effort in to create the agent job and the template. If you go into Eve, someone picks up the phone and calls in, and on Monday calls in and asks about an open water course. Maybe the person's name was, I don't know, Beverly Smith. Okay, so Beverly Smith it is. Beverly Smith made an inquiry about a course. Could have been a trip, special interest, or a stock item she's interested in. In this case, it's a course. Click on Open Water Diver, or whatever you happen to call it in your store, and click Save. A name, the course, and the course type, click Save. That is an event. All of the jobs within the Eve agent are event-driven jobs. Something occurred within the database to trigger the job. With that, the job gets triggered, goes off to MailChimp, and sends the email. Powerful stuff, and when you look at all the various different jobs that are available, it can really boost your communication with your customers. So let's just go down here and summarize what we've gone through in the last hour. There are now more than 120 new agent jobs and features available to you, and more coming. A number of different jobs that we're working on at present. And you'll be able to download them as soon as they're prepared and we send them out to you. There's a new MailChimp template interface. We've created the templates for you, and we've created the interface to help you download them to MailChimp. One suggestion, don't download 120 MailChimp templates all at once. Pick out the ones you want. Maybe bring down all the open waters at once, and then the advanced open waters, and look at them, select the ones you want, edit them, delete the ones you don't want, and so on. Just a little faster that way, and it's cleaner. We've simplified the MailChimp templates to build your business. We've given you colorful imagery, solid text, and a minimum amount of work to customize the jobs and the templates to drive your business. You're going to be able to watch for the additional jobs and templates through Eve Report. That's our new monthly newsletter. You'll have seen at least a couple of those coming out now. One, I think we have one of them went out in August, another one's set to go out at the end of this week. Eve Flash is our weekly updates. You'll see those coming out to you. And you'll also be able to follow us on Facebook. We have a new Facebook page, and if I can get my mouse to work here, there we go. You'll find us on Eve Diving on Facebook. We encourage you to follow us. And you'll see tips and tricks. You'll see notes from MailChimp. You'll see notes about customers. We will be giving you updates on new events and so on that are coming up. Go down here and there's tech tips. I'm just waiting for that to load. You'll find tech tips coming up on our Facebook page. And with tech tips coming up, you'll find that there's more information coming to you on how to use different aspects of Eve and the Eve agent. All right. Encourage you to look at the events section of Facebook. It keeps you abreast of things that are upcoming. We'd really encourage you to come to DEMA if you've got a chance to come that far, I know Asia Pac's a long way away, and you've got a number of events in the South Pacific that you can attend. But if any of you are planning on being up in the area, we've got events on here, and we look forward to seeing you at your local events as well. Go back to PowerPoint, and we'll just conclude this. So there will be a follow-up. We're going to send you a video of today's session. You'll have a link through Facebook to see the presentation again, review the notes. We are preparing training videos. You will get a video on the auto-download of the jobs, the auto-download of the templates, and how to modify the templates. You'll also get an email from us thanking you for your participation today. There's some questions on it. If you just take a minute and answer them. Maybe you had a question that wasn't answered during the webinar. Tell us what it is and we'll get back to you. Please tell us how we can improve future webinars. We want to try and do more of these and look forward to doing them with you, trying to do them at times that are convenient for you. But any suggestions you've got, we'd really appreciate it. And certainly subjects for future webinars. We have 2 more webinars planned for EMEA North America and for Asia Pac, and they feature, the next one will be early in October, and that will be with respect to the EVE enhancements in 5.10 specifically related to PADI, the OLPC, EVE, DiveCheck, ProCheck, relationship, and so on, the ability to bring customer information back from PADI directly into your customer file for certifications and so on. Very interesting stuff, so watch for those. We'll be sending you emails on that. Please send the emails you have to support@isis.co.uk, and we'll be more than glad to answer them and keep you abreast of new enhancements as well as they come along. So I want to thank you for your attention. Giovanni, you've been manning the chat board. We've seen conversations going back and forth. Hope you've got everybody taken care of there. Ian, any closing thoughts or comments, sir?
One of the things I think, guys, it's important for you to do, we've been talking a lot about increasing and enhancing your communication with your customers. I just want to tell you a little anecdote about how that's important in the store as well. When you introduce these new emails, this new marketing system, bear in mind something that's happened very recently. 2 or 3 weeks ago, Giovanni and Les gave a similar presentation to stores specifically in the EMEA region. And I got a phone call about 10 days after that from the store owner saying, I've got a bone to pick with you guys. I went, oh, right, okay, fascinating. And he said, I've had to train my staff. And I said, oh, okay, right. This was clearly an attempt at English humour that I was hearing. As with most English humour, it clearly wasn't working. Well, it wasn't working with me anyway. Anyway, dug into it a little bit more. This store owner had had to train his staff to not look surprised. He'd switched on and started using the DSD inquiry jobs and the open water inquiry jobs and campaigns. And people had come in. And they had come in and booked onto open water programs if they'd been sent after DSD inquiries, and they'd booked on to DSD, etc. And they'd all come in and said, oh, thanks for the info you sent me, it was great. Thanks for keeping up in touch. I wasn't sure that, about it, but it explained. I went to the website, saw it, saw what you were offering, I'm here to book. And the staff were going, oh, I didn't know we'd been in touch with you. Because all the staff had done was that little bit of inquiries. They hadn't realised the full import of the system and what was happening. So please make sure you share this new way of marketing with everyone in the store so they don't look surprised when customers come in. It was great to hear that customers would come in. It was actually an attempt on this chap's part to praise his staff for putting in inquiries, to praise himself for having switched on those aspects of the agent. But it was a great anecdote. In fact, it was immediately working for that store. He'd simply had to make sure that his staff now knew that was working, so they didn't look surprised when more customers started coming in. So I hope you can take that piece of you and give you the confidence and the faith to use these really simple, really straightforward approaches to enhancing all the efforts you're already doing in your store. On that note, from me, on behalf of all of us at Eve, those of us who are running this webinar, but also those who are not here as well, thanking you all for your time and attention and for being Paddy members and Eve users, and hope to speak to you all soon.
Very well. Thank you very much to all of you for taking part. Ian, I can't add anything to what you've just said. Thanks to all of you for taking part in the webinar and for supporting Eve, and we look forward to having you on our next webinar. Thank you very much, and good night. Good night, Giovanni. Good night, Ian.
Bye-bye.